Hey guys, I'm back again, finally, wishing you all a very happy new year. 2018 better be better than 2017. That's all I'm saying. But what I have for you today are my top books from my personal reading of 2017. Now, this year I don't have as many 5-star books. I think I only have about 7. But that's okay because I feel like overall my reading was actually pretty good. I didn't always stick to my goals, but the main thing is that I read, decent books and I don't have too many DNFs. And I think I didn't have any DNFs this year, so that's good. But I did have two 1-star books this year. So let's get started. We're going to start with the first one, which is Hunger by Roxane Gay. Now, everybody's mother, brother, and dog knows about this one, so you know how good it is if you read it. And if you haven't read it yet, in your mind, you must think this is a fantastic book. And it really is. It blew me away. I read it, I think it was over summer when I read this one. And I remember this one just really, it broke me up a little bit because it is so honest. It's unflinchingly honest, and she makes some great points about a lot of things in this book. It seems like it's much longer than just a little under 300 pages. I think it is just under 300 pages, but it feels like it's 500. I mean, when you close the book, you feel like you've read like a 500-page book because of the intensity of the content of the book. Not because it's reading is difficult. The reading, it flows majestically. She's a wonderful writer, and she knows how to talk about her own personal story. And I commend her because she says some things that I think she goes really personal, and maybe a little bit too personal, because I had a feeling like I was being voyeuristic a little bit, but I'm glad I read the book because it made me understand Roxane Gay as a writer a little better. So yeah, so I definitely recommend this to you. It's probably one of the best memoirs of the year, amongst a couple of other ones that I'm going to mention just a minute. Okay, next I have on the list is the collection poems, Rita Dove, 1974 to 2004. Now, poetry is something that is very personal, and not everybody really likes it and thinks that they don't really get it. I'm no expert. I just know what I like and I know what I don't like. This I love. And I mean, Rita Dove, what can I say? I don't need to tell you anything. It says it right here on the inside cover. Rita Dove's collected poems, 1974-2004, showcases a wide-ranging diversity that earned her a Pulitzer Prize, the position of U.S. Poet Laureate, a National Humanities Medal, and a National Medal of Art. Gathering 30 years and 7 books, the volume compiles Dove's fresh reflections on adolescence in the Yellow House on the Corner and her irreverent musings in museum. Okay, so do I need to tell you more? It's fantastic. Now, this is not something you read quickly. I think I must have read this one over 3.5 months because it is quite a big book, but I will surely read this again. And I think if I do read it again, it'll probably be, I'll pick up, the book and read like maybe a few pages here and there. Because there's some things that, this book is fantastic. You will always want to pick it up and read poems again. And I'm glad that I got it in this hardcover, because then that will help me keep it a bit longer. So I highly recommend this one, especially for people that are trying to get into poetry. I think it's a good place to start. Her poems are very accessible, I think, personally. The next book on my list of 5 stars is Born on a Tuesday by L. Nathan John. And it was shortlisted for the NLNG Nigeria Prize for Literature in 2016. And this was fantastic. So you follow young boy, I think his name is Ahmed, is the name that they give him when he gets to the mosque. But he is studying and he winds up leaving the school where he is studying and winds up going to a mosque in another town. And it's there where he sort of finds solace in this mosque, but at the same time there's a lot of trouble going on because there's Islamic fundamentalism that is growing within the mosque from one of the spiritual leaders, and it is heartbreaking. It's a discovery for me because I don't know that much about Nigeria, but this is one aspect, and El Nathan John is quite the expert on it, and he writes a very successful blog, which I will link below as well. He's a wonderful writer. You immediately are sucked into this story and you are immediately behind this young boy. You are rooting for him all the way to the end. And let me tell you, it's a ride, this one. It's amazing. It's very, very good. And he does some really cool techniques in here that I haven't seen that much. I liked it when the young boy wrote a diary. He was writing a diary to learn to speak English better. And it's within the way he writes in his English journal, by using certain words, give you some clues on his feelings on things and his emotion, his mood of the moment. It's quite a cute. My battery died, so I think I had just finished telling you about this. I definitely recommend it. Check it out. And also check out books that are published by Cassava Republic. It's a very small African independent publishing company, and they're very good. Next on my list, I have Tears We Cannot Stop, A Sermon to White America, and that is by Michael Eric Dyson. I did a very extensive review on this, which I will link below. And if I remember correctly, this was my first, I think this was my first review of January 2017. So I don't need to say that much about this. I did an extensive review, like I said, that I will link below. It is a very awesome take on racism in America. It gets quite a few things square, straight on, and he tries to make some kind of a bridge between color divide. But I think at this moment in time, that's very hard to do with the person that is in the White House right now. But if you haven't checked this one out, check it out. It's a very quick read, it's thorough, and it has an excellent list of books and things towards the end of the book that you might want to check out. Next, I have Borne a Crime, which I'll show you here because I listened to it on audio and it was freaking fantastic. This is the memoir or story of Trevor Noah. You must know him from his own comedy show. If you haven't checked it out, you should, because Trevor Noah is half black and half white. His mother is black South African. His father is a white, I think, Swiss German man. And we see that he is born like right towards the end of apartheid, but here again it is apartheid, so it is illegal for whites and blacks to have any kinds of sexual relationships or anything like that, or marriage, and nothing like that is allowed. But when you listen to this memoir, all you can get is that wonderful relationship that he has with his mother. Just freaking fantastic. That woman poured her entire being into that man. I mean, if he's the man that he is today, it's really because of his mother. She really poured quite a lot into him, and you can see that he is a highly intelligent guy, and he is very articulate. And I mean, if you haven't listened to this audio, you have to listen to this one, because he pronounces all the African names correctly. He does the Afrikaner, you know, words and everything correctly. It's just freaking fantastic. Definitely a must read, top read of 2017. Okay, and the next I have here as well, Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. This is by Rennie Edo-Lodge. I don't have it because I loaned it to a friend. So I'm sure you have seen this one around online, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, you know, you've pretty much seen it around everywhere, and it is a very good book. I think if you are like me and don't know that much about the UK history, it's an excellent way to find out more about it, especially the UK history pertaining to Black UK citizens. And it has a very good explanation. She goes through not only that, but she talks about feminism and feminist movement and how it didn't include Black women as much as it should. She talks about a lot of stuff. She talks about the government, and you know, she talks about a few terrible racist incidents that happened in England and how they were dealt with, or should I say not dealt with. She talks about a lot of things, but it's a small book, and the beauty about it is that she's talking about a lot of different things, but she makes all of it come full circle. So it all makes sense. It's not confusing. It's not boring. And it's extremely interesting. I mean, I really, really, really recommend it to everyone to read it. It's fantastic. Good read. And then my last book is Jennifer Lewis, The Mother of Black Hollywood. Now, I know you've seen this one all over the place because she's been rapping for her book. Tap, 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 tapping for her book. Okay. So I know you've seen this all over the place. And let me tell you, when I first saw that this book, that she had this book coming out, I think I you know, like it was months ago that she started doing her little rap and everything. And I said, I need to get that, because I have always appreciated her acting skills and her singing. And so I was just curious about the woman. Now, I must say, she is damned honest in this book. I mean, really honest about a lot of things. She's had quite a full life. She is a free woman, and she doesn't hold back on anything that she's done, whether it be good, bad, or whatever. I mean, there's some scenes I'll never forget, which the one that I know that if you've read the book, that you know, Check the Meat. I'll never forget that scene. I couldn't stop laughing. And then another one was when she got the little dib in on Oprah. That one, like, I was like, okay, Jennifer. She being honest with that one. But yeah, it's really worth reading, because you'll learn a lot about the time period, you know, that she grew up in, and how difficult it probably was to become an actress, and how well she's actually done it, and that just all of the talent that she has, all of the men that she's loved, all the gay men that she's been friends with, all of her, just everything about her is poured into this book. And it's not very long. Let's see, it's 320 pages, but it reads like candy, like crack. I had the pleasure of reading and listening to her at the same time, which I thoroughly enjoyed, because then it allowed me to mark up some of the pages that I really wanted to go back and look at. But yeah, if you haven't picked this memoir up, definitely pick it up. It is one of the ones that's going around that people are, you know, grabbing off the shelves, but it really is worth it. I'm not exaggerating on that. If you like Jennifer Lewis, then you'll like this memoir, because it's just like her. She reads it in that dramatic fashion that she has, but let me tell you, she will have you going from tears of joy and laughter to wanting to cry. You get everything compacted in this book. And I am not the one who's like always reading memoirs, but as you can see in here, there are 3 memoirs. Let me tell you, if I put a memoir in my best books of the year, if I put one in there, a memoir, you know it's got to be good, because I usually don't read memoirs. But yeah, so this is a definitely yes, 5 stars. So those are my 7 books for you. You can go over to my blog, which is up right now. At least it's a semblance of one. This has been a struggle. You're gonna have to like be patient with me here. Bear with me. If you're interested and you like my blog, please go and subscribe. It's a link, you know, in the sidebar where you can put your email address to follow the blog, and you'll get sent an email when there's a new post. And I will be, yeah, posting back on my blog again. So that's it. 2017 was a very good year for reading. So that's all I have for you today. Bye.